Hey, how's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are dropping in price, and one of them by 91%. But I think it's actually the bottom for this book, and I don't think it's going to go sky high by any means. But there's some things on the horizon that leads me to believe that this book will probably start going up a little more. So let's get right into the video. All right, first is we got Batman Damned #1. A 9.8 recently sold for $67. Back in January, it was averaging $100. That's down 33%. In all of 2023, it was averaging about 105, so not really down too much, so down 36%. And then at its peak, it was selling for $300, down 78%. Now, this is the famous one where it shows Batman's penis. Yes, Batman's penis. I remember I went to the comic shop and I picked up some of these and sent them off to get graded, and they came back, I think they all came back 9.8s, I believe. None of them were 9.9s or whatever. I since sold them. Don't have them anymore. But yeah, I picked up a few. I can't remember what these were, probably like 15, 20 bucks or something like that, brand new. So yeah, but I sold them a long, long time ago. I probably sold them for, I don't know, probably 150 or something like that. So there's a lot of hype around it. This was supposed to be for more mature audiences. And so they showed Batman's penis. It was like a little like clip, kind of like vague thing that you can kind of see. But nonetheless, this dropped. There's a couple reasons why. Yes, it's a modern book, that's why it's dropped, but also because there's 10-0s of this book out, so a 9.8 is really not the highest, and it's not like 110.0 or 199. There's multiple 10-0s and multiple 9.9s. So a 9.8 is relegated down to about case cost. Like I said, in all of 2023, it was hovering around $100 on average. Yeah, this is probably just a low month, but if you look at the graph, you can kind of see it's going like this. So this book, honestly, to me, will be case cost, which is like $50, all the way up to like probably $100. That's where this will be for a 9.8, and that's where it's going to be forever. It'll just permanently stay there. So, I mean, I guess in the future, I mean, it is a Batman book, and it is #1, so I don't really see this going below case cost. I don't see this selling for like, obviously maybe in an auction or something I could, but for 9.8, it'll stay around. All right, next is we got X-Men 4, first appearance of Omega Red. A 9.8 recently sold for $90. Back in January, it was averaging 118. That's down 23%. In all of 2023, it was averaging 195. That's down 54%. And at its peak, it was selling for 707. That is down 87%. Yes, that peak was quite a bit, a little too much. As you can see, it just kind of straight up. People were overpaying for things back then. I mean, this is X-Men #4. I mean, famously, the X-Men #1 from Jim Lee sold like 8.2 million copies. So, I mean, obviously they had the 4 covers, things like that. But, I mean, this book was probably selling in close to 1 million copies around this time, somewhere around there. So, 1 million copies out there. Yeah, way too much. So, this has been dropping. As you can see, in January, it was 118. In all of 2023, 195. So still continuing to go down. Since January, it's been about 6 months. So still, I would imagine this book is probably going to land somewhere between the $75 and $100 mark. That's where it's probably going to stay. Maybe if Omega Red comes out and something or whatever, you could see a small bump from this book. Nothing like it was before back in for $707. Don't ever expect that again. Like I said, this book was probably produced in the close to the $1 million mark, or million copies mark. So there's just too much out there, because it's a supply and demand. Even the demand goes up, and say Omega Red comes this new hit character or something right like that. There's just too much supply out there. There's too much. Every time you think it's going to gain ground, someone will flood the market with, here's like 10 copies, here's 100 copies, stuff like that. And there's just not enough people in comic books to ever support this book, really even going close to $700. That was just some random frenzy. But yeah. All right, next is we got West Coast Avengers #45. This is the first appearance, well, not really first appearance, but it's the first like all white Vision costume change. A 9.8 is down 12%. In January, we're selling on average 190, is now selling for 167. In all 2023, is averaging about 270, down 38%. And then at its peak, it's down 91% from its peak. 91%, yes. At its peak, it's selling for 1950. And man, now selling for 167 and a 9.8. This is probably close to the bottom for this book. It's kind of looks like it's kind of bottomed out, and it's just kind of been going like this. It could still slightly go down a little more, but this is where I don't think it will on this book. Is it going to go up to 1950? No, that's insane. That's not going to happen. So originally, this got a big spike because Comic Boom, and also another spike because there was the WandaVision show, and spoiler alert, Vision dies, but he uploads his conscience to White Vision. I'm trying to remember the TV show. It was like years ago. So, but anyways, they were supposed to do a Vision quest, and I guess like they weren't gonna do it. Then they actually are gonna do it, and I think it's a TV show, and I think they are currently filming it, I believe. So I think it's actually gonna get made. So I think this will get a slight boost from that. Nowhere near the 1950. I could see this book in a 9.8 selling, like say Vision Quest comes out and the hype is real on this book. I could see this, slightly going up to like the $250, maybe $300 mark. But I think it'll stay around like 150 until that happens, and then get a slight boost. All right, next is we got Walking Dead number 27, first appearance of the Governor. A 9.8 is down 30% from January, averaging 213, now selling for 150. In all of 2023, it was actually averaging less, 170, now selling for 150, down 12%. And at its peak, way, way back in the day, in 2012, it was peaking at 630, now selling for 150. This peak because of the show. Obviously, you can see the book was worth pretty much nothing. Then the show comes out, spikes high. As you can see, like in 2023, it was selling for less than it was, in January. It looks like basically it's gone from its peak. It's like gone down. Then it hit this like low mark, went up a little bit. And then it's just kind of hovering around here. Some months will be up, some months will be down. Honestly, I think it's just going to stay around this price. This seems to be like a pretty fair price for this book. So yeah, it'll just probably just stay around here. I don't even know if the Walking Dead series is still on. I think it is. Or they have like offshoots of it or something. But yeah. All right, next is we got Spider-Man 210. This is the first appearance of Madam Web. That awesome movie. A 9.8 currently sold for $625. In January, it was averaging $712. That's down 12%. In 2023, it was averaging $1030, down 39%. And then it's peaked at $2,500. It's down 75%. So I'm sure many of you have not seen Madam Web because no one did. Terrible movie. At least that's what the reviews say. I don't know. I didn't waste my money watching it. I saw clips and things like that. I'm like, no, sorry, not for me. Nonetheless, they're not going to do some Madam Web spinoff or anything like that. So it got some hype from that. Obviously, fell flat on its face. $625. I'm trying to see where this book is going to land. For a 9.8, $625, I could see it hovering around the $500 mark, so I could see it going down a little more, but I don't think much more. I think most of the damage has already been done in this book, and honestly, it went way above what it should have been to begin with. So that's kind of, those are most comic books, but I think it's going to hover around this price, so to speak, and, I think this book, like, if you bought this book for like $500, let's say in like 6 months you get a deal and you get it for $500. I think it's a safe bet that over time it's probably going to grow because, she's still a character of this book from the 80s, Copper Age, and it's Spider-Man. So it has some things going for it, regardless of the movie sucked or not, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Now all that movie magic money is gone from this book, from hyping it up. That is it. Have a great day.